What's going on, everyone? So Dalton Knecht, he has had some excellent, memorable, just dominant performances for the Lakers. I mean, he's a guy that we have seen, like, he can just go in fuego, just lights out, right? How many times have we seen him at literally every level, from college to summer league to preseason to the NBA regular season? He'll go like 0 of 4, and then you look up and he's like 6 of 10 from three, and you're like, dude, the guy made 6 straight threes. It's just like, yeah, like he gets that one, and that's it, right? And he's a guy that, yes, is flawed, particularly on the defensive side, but he's a rookie, right? He's gonna take time to develop, but he has all the tools. He's big, he's versatile, he is athletic. He has great foot speed, right? Athleticism, he can jump. He's got the wingspan. He's got everything you want. He just needs to buy in and lock in defensively. That, I believe, will come with time. He is committed. He tries. He just doesn't understand the positioning from an NBA level yet. I do think he can get there. Offensively, the guy can give you everything. We've seen the bag, right? He's a guy that can beat guys and take guys off the dribble, right? He's a guy that can shoot over the top. He's a guy that can stop on a dime and just elevate. He's a guy that can get to the rim. That guy can't get a foul call to save his life, right? He's trying to posterize, players every game, right? Could he do a better job finishing around the rim? Absolutely. Right? There are still, again, things and little nuance things that he needs to work on and develop. Obviously, we know he could shoot the lights out. Obviously, we know he's a guy that can just get hot. But Lakers traded him, right? And a lot of people were upset about it, which is completely understandable. He's a rookie. He's been great. We've been searching for a shooter that isn't afraid of the bright lights of LA, and you got a guy in Dalton Knecht, right? One of the reasons I wasn't against trading Dalton Knecht is because I do think that there is an argument to be made that the Lakers are going to hold Dalton Knecht back, right? And you might think, well, you got Luka, you got LeBron, you got Reeves, you got these guys that can really set him up, right? He can go off and he can score the basketball. Yes, but on the Lakers, more likely than not, he's probably never going to be more than a catch and shoot, spot up 3-point guy who on occasion gets some flexibility on the offensive side of things, right? Because you don't need him to be anything more than a catch and shoot 3-point shooter on this team with Luka, with LeBron, with Austin Reeves, right? Even if LeBron leaves, like let's say in the offseason he leaves, you're still going to have Luka and Reeves who are going to be on ball doing most of the work 90% of the time, right? Knecht, how much opportunity is he going to get? You saw in like the Denver game, for example, right? You saw the versatility, right? Think back to some of the big games that Austin Reeves or Dalton Knecht has had this year, right? A lot of them were just he was hot shooting the basketball, right? Like that big was a 38-point game outburst. He had like 8 threes or whatever, right? Like it was a lot of him just shooting the lights out, right? You look at that Denver game and he shot from an array. He was taking guys off the dribble. He was, getting, he was a backdoor guy, right? He was getting to the explosive at the rim, right? So you look at the Denver game, for example, right? He was 13 of 27 from the floor. He was only 5 of 13 from three, which is great, 38.5%, but he had 32 points. It wasn't like he made 10 threes, right? He was very versatile in all the areas and all the spaces that you wanted. You saw him again taking guys off the dribble, knocking down the mid-range, getting to the free throw line, right? All of those things. And I do think he's a guy that has that capability of just being a legit offensive weapon. A guy that, like, I would love for him to get some offensive freedom as like the sixth man, right? Bring him off the bench, give him the ball, and let him go to work. The problem is at least this year, for sure, he's not going to get that opportunity. I don't even know how much he'll play come playoff time. I mean, the whole argument and the reason that the Lakers said that they traded Dalton Knecht was because he was their 9th guy. And they weren't wrong. He is. He's not their top 6, top 7 guys, right? He is their 9th, 10th guy. Now, again, things could change. And I'm not saying you have to like trade Dalton Knecht and trade him for a bag of chips or anything like that. I would love to keep Dalton Knecht. If we could keep Dalton Knecht, if he could retire a Laker, let him retire a Laker, right? But there is this offseason and a lot could change, right? I think this team looks very different next season, but like, what do they do with Austin Reeves, right? Again, I'm not saying that they'll trade Austin Reeves, but he is going into a contract year, and he's probably not going to make $13 million a year on his next contract. So the Lakers look to keep him. Are they going to pay him $30 plus million, or are they going to look to maybe trade him in the offseason, right? What happens with LeBron? I think LeBron probably plays another 2-3 years now that he has Luka, but who knows? Maybe, what if the Lakers do win the championship this year and he's like, you know what, like, let me go out on a high note. Let me go out as a champion. Right? Maybe he retires. All of a sudden, it's like, maybe Knecht gets this role and gets this opportunity. I don't know, right? We don't know what, this time next year, what it looks like. We also don't know what Dalton Knecht evolves into in the offseason. Maybe he becomes everything. Maybe he becomes undeniable. And the Lakers are like, dude, we got to figure this out, right? We got to give him the opportunity, right? Like, who knows? It's also, I think, just as likely, if not more likely, he ends up getting traded in the offseason, which, again, I think would be unfortunate. I like Dalton Knecht. I don't think he's untradeable. I mean, he is older for a rookie, right? If you can find the right trade and the right deal and the right move and the right piece or something like that, then I do think you do that, right? Like, if you could turn him into Walker Kessler, I'm sorry, I love him, but Brandon Kessler, right? Or if you could get a Jalen Duren, love him, but bring me Jalen Duren, right? Like, there are certain players, just because, again, bigger need, fit, things like that, I think he does become expendable. I do think that there is a genuine argument that he is expendable on that end. And if he doesn't get the opportunity to be more than just a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, which, again, I want to be clear, I'm not saying that's all he is. He is more than that, which is why I kind of want to see him go to another team where he gets that opportunity, right? What does he look like if he's on a team like Detroit and he gets the freedom to just be a bucket getter, right? Like, look at like what Malik Beasley is doing for Detroit. Imagine if he got that opportunity on that team in that role. That's why, like, on Charlotte, I was like, man, like, don't be shocked if he does some stuff for Charlotte, right? Because I thought he would get the opportunity on Charlotte and get more freedom, right? And get the opportunity. I just don't know if he's going to get those opportunities on the Lakers, because he's going to be the, fourth, fifth, sixth scoring option. At best, he'll be the fourth scoring option. So how much opportunity is he going to get, right? Because as long as LeBron, Reeves, and Luka are on this team, guess who's your 1, 2, and 3? LeBron, Luka, Reeves. Probably Luka, Reeves, and LeBron based on what LeBron has said, but those three guys are always, as long as they're on the team, are going to be your three main options, right? That means Dalton Knecht, at best, will never be more than your fourth option, unless, a guy's out or whatever, or two guys out or whatever, right? So again, how much opportunity does he get? There is, I think, a genuine argument that the Lakers are going to hold him back over the long term. You can make an argument they've already done that this year. I mean, this was a guy that looked like he might win Rookie of the Year, and then, inconsistent minutes, inconsistent shot attempts. I mean, the guy doesn't, like, he has games where he'll get 10 attempts, and he has games where he'll get 2, right? He had a terrible shooting stretch. Terrible. For literally 20 games or something like that. So many people were like, what happened to him? Why did he fall off? Why did this? And what did I keep saying for those that were here, right? Like, it's because he's not getting the opportunities to get out of it, right? LeBron earlier in the season, he missed 21 straight threes or something like that. And we were all like, why does he keep shooting threes? He's 0 of 9. Oh, now he's 0 of 10. Like, what is he doing? He was trying to shoot himself out of the slump, right? Steph had probably one of the worst games this year we've ever seen out of a superstar. I mean, he had a terrible, he had a 5-game stretch that was awful, and he's the greatest shooter ever shoot the ball, right? But he was able to take 9, 10, 3, 11 threes because he was able to get, it's hard to get out of a slump when you're only getting 2 attempts a game and only playing 7 minutes, right? But again, it's not because JJ Redick just doesn't like Dalton Knecht. If anybody understands Dalton Knecht, it's JJ. But it's who does he play him over? He's not playing him over Rui. He's not playing him over LeBron. He's not playing him over, all these guys like Reeves and guys like that. So it's just like, and then you need the defensive purposes, and he can't hold his own defensively. And if he's not hitting shots, then he's essentially unplayable out there, right? Like it becomes a problem. Now, again, we'll see what he does in the offseason and how he grows and works on his game and develops his game. But it's tough because there is a big part of me that's like, I want to see him retire a Laker. But then there's also arguably a bigger part of me that's like, I really want to see him go to a team where he'll thrive and flourish, right? Why do players, like great example, Jay Huff, Scottie Pippen Jr. as recent examples, right? But even guys like Josh Hart, Larry Nance, right? Julius Randle, like these guys, Ivaka Zubac, right? Like these guys, why do they go to these other teams and ball out more than they did with the Lakers? Because usually the Lakers are contending for championships and have stars, right? Look, when you have LeBron and AD, it's hard because you're trying to win championships. You're not trying to develop guys. You're trying to be the best team possible out there on the basketball court, right? So you don't have the opportunity. Why did Scottie Pippen emerge and become? Because Memphis was tanking. And they were like, hey, let's let Scottie Pippen Jr. and Jay Huff get 35 minutes a game. And they had games where they were great. Scottie Pippen had games where he was giving you nearly triple doubles and dropping 30 and 12 and all this stuff. But he had games where he was terrible and had 8 turnovers and only 2 assists and was unplayably bad out there. But Memphis didn't care. Why? Because they were trying to lose. They didn't care. Good. Let him go. But then he was able to emerge and evolve and is now an actual rotation piece for them, right? Dalton Knecht, I do think, has the potential to be a rotation piece, but I don't know if he'll ever be more than that on the Lakers is the question. But just something that I wanted to talk about, kind of hear your thoughts and opinions. So as always, I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.